Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so finally we're going to talk about workouts where it is either rounds or reps for time. Okay, so it might be like a 3 rounds for time, 21, 15, 9, anything where you've got a set amount of work to do and you're trying to get it done as quickly as possible. Okay, now again, just like the EMOMs and the AMRAPs, right, there's different styles of rounds for time. Okay, now everyone typically associates like your 21, 15, 9s as being short, sharp sprint workouts. On the whole, they are, okay, and obviously that requires one approach, all right? Then you've got, let's just say, your 5 rounds for time, something like Kelly, okay, so 5 rounds of 400-meter run, 30 wall balls, 30 box jumps, where your approach is a little bit different. We're looking for more consistency, a little bit like your longer AMRAPs, and then obviously, again, you've got the ones in the middle, okay, so if we're going to use another benchmark workout, something like Helen, okay, so kind of in that 7 to 11 minute window, right, where you still want to be pushing hard the whole way, okay, but again, you're trying to minimize that drop off. All right, so let's talk about something like Fran first of all, because obviously that's something everybody can relate to, that Fran feeling. Okay, now again, big thing when you're doing a workout like this is you understand the purpose. All right, it's all about intensity, it's all about keeping moving for the entire duration of time. Obviously a workout like Fran can take anywhere from 2 minutes to probably around the 6 minute mark, dependent upon how you attack it. All right, and with these kind of workouts, it's also easy to make it take longer than it needs to. All right, because obviously in a lot of cases, sometimes you can be expecting it to hurt. So it's easy to kind of think of a strategy to make it hurt less. All right, but what you've got to remember, especially with the kind of training that CrossFit advocates and what you're going to be doing in competition, the focus is intensity. All right, now what you need to think about is to really benefit from intensity, especially when the window of time is so short. So let's just say 5 minutes. You have to be working at 85% plus. Okay, if you're working for less, if you're working for a longer period of time than that, okay, then your heart rate can be lower. Okay, but when you're working in between, you know, anything up to probably 15 minutes, okay, to really benefit from it in the way it was intended, okay, you want to be working around that 85% max heart rate mark, if not higher, to really maximize the adaptations that you're going to get from it. Okay, so when you take into account a workout like Fran, right, when people talk about pacing strategies and all this kind of stuff, you really want to cut as much of that back as possible. Okay, now obviously there's the practical side of that when it comes to, you know, I know that say 21 pull-ups is going to be impossible for me to do unbroken because my max set of pull-ups is only 15. So you're going to break that in a way which are going to allow you to get through those 21 reps without getting to the point of complete failure. That's fine, okay? But what you don't want to do is break because your heart rate is getting elevated and you want to save yourself for later in the workout, okay? That's not the point, especially in training. That's not the point of a workout like that. So whenever you have, say, a for time workout like Fran, or something that is going to be in that kind of 5 minute time frame, okay, you really do just want to focus on pushing as hard as you can for as long as you can, okay, keeping your transition time to a minimum, an absolute minimum, okay, so that you can keep moving, keep your heart rate elevated. That's what we want. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, but yes, that's what we want, and yes, that's how you're going to improve, okay? If you don't go to that point, like we say, that 85% plus, then you're not going to make the most of that workout, okay? From there, let's take into account something like Helen, okay? So you work in that 10-minute time frame. So obviously Helen, for those of you that perhaps don't remember, is 3 rounds of 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings, 12 pull-ups, but obviously there's loads of workouts that fall into that category, okay? Now again, on these ones, you're gonna be working longer than a workout like Fran, okay? But we still wanna see you pushing hard and maintaining as consistent as possible split times on your rounds, okay? But also expecting those times to slow down, okay? So let's say, for example, you know, you're an average 400-meter runner. You can do the kettlebell swings unbroken and you might have to break the pull-ups once per round. Then you're probably looking at somewhere around the 3 to 4 minute mark per round, okay? So obviously you're gonna bring you out somewhere between 9 and 12 minutes. Now let's just say, for example, you do the first round in 3.5 minutes, the second round in say 3:45, and then maybe the last round you hit a bit of a wall and it takes you 4:15. You've had an extra 30-second drop off. On a workout like that, that's pretty normal, okay? But obviously the key thing there is you've pushed hard from the start, all right? So again, if you were to look at a heart rate chart, you're gonna get a very sudden spike in your heart rate. And then obviously from there, you're just fighting to maintain that pace as much as you can fight off the lactic acid so you can keep moving at that pace, particularly on the run. Okay, now obviously here, again, just like your kind of 10-minute AMRAPs, you still want to have an aggressive mentality with it, okay, in the sense of you're going to push hard on the first round and then you're going to fight to maintain that pace as much as you can, which again means being aggressive with your sets, your working sets, okay, then also being aggressive with keeping your transition time down through the workout so that you're keeping your heart rate elevated and you're not having an unnecessary rest, okay? And then finally, you've got your workout like Kelly, your 5 rounds for time, lots of work, okay, high volume movements. Again, this is where we're looking for consistency, okay? So that is where you might plan your workout a little bit more from the start in terms of the pace you might run at, how you might break the wall balls, how you might do the box jumps to allow you to maintain that consistency. Obviously, Kelly, you know, you could do the first round of Kelly in 3.5 minutes, okay? But that's no good if your last round takes you 6, all right? Because again, because it's that longer time frame, okay? You want to focus more on making every round take, say, 4.5 minutes, as opposed to having that huge difference in time between your rounds because of the duration of the workout. Obviously, it's going to have much more of an effect on your overall score if you are less consistent on a workout like this. And again, that's what separates people at the highest level. Perfect example of this is if you think back to the CrossFit Games in 2019, where they had the workout with the running, legless rope climbs, and snatches. Okay, generally the people who finished highest on that workout, they weren't necessarily the people who finished the first round the quickest. They were the people who over the course of the workout were the most consistent, okay? So I hope that gives you something to think about, all right? As always, if you've got any questions, give us a shout. We'll see you next week.